and welcome to the eFresh.com Dairy News. Today is the 15th of October. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Farmers face a cash drought. UK opposes return of handouts. Russia ready to drop dairy ban. 1 cent milk price rise a stunt. Way forward is bright. In Australia, battling farmers are waiting nervously to hear if the state government will renew its drought funding. The government is due to announce whether it will renew the funding in the next fortnight, and farmers say assistance is as vital now as ever. The Victorian Farmers Federation says it will take a lot more than a few weeks of rain to get the industry back on its feet after more than a decade of drought. Years of failed crops, low water allocations and shortages in water and fodder supplies have reduced the farms community's confidence and productive capacity. According to its submission to the Victorian government, the dairy industry has been hit the hardest, with debt levels increasing by 75% since 2000 to an average of more than $500,000 a farm. The British government has pledged to challenge any attempt to restore cash subsidies to Europe's ailing dairy sector. The announcement came as 5,000 angry farmers with more than 1,000 tractors and milk tankers besieged talks in Brussels that week and tipped milk into the streets as protests over low prices and incomes continued across the continent. The demonstration, organized by the European Milk Board, was a culmination of weeks of dairy protests across Europe and came as EU agriculture ministers held talks over the crisis. A group of 20 member states, led by France and Germany, kept up demands for stronger action to support the dairy sector. But UK Farming Minister Jim Fitzpatrick said that would be unacceptable if it meant a return to the days of paying for production that nobody wanted. Russia will drop the ban on dairy imports from Lithuania if its products meet Russian and EU quality standards, Transportation Minister Igor Levitin said. Levitin is co-chairman of the Russian-Lithuanian Intergovernmental Commission. At a meeting with the Lithuanian foreign minister, Levitin said that Russia did not plan to make any exceptions for any EU member. As Russia has signed an agreement on dairy product standards with the EU and cannot relax those standards for any EU country, it is asking Lithuanian dairy producers to comply with EU standards. Russia imposed the ban on Lithuanian dairy imports on August 17th after detecting unacceptably high levels of antibiotics. A milk price rise of 1 cent a litre to farmers is a public relations stunt that will make no difference to farmers, says an industry spokesman. The 1.1 cent price rise for Tasmanian farmers announced by food giant National Foods was hailed as a victory. But the cent was due in January anyway, says collective bargaining group spokesman Phil Beattie. The Bushy Park dairy farmer said National Foods was trying to link its price to the other major supplier, Fonterra, and in the normal cycle would have added the 1 cent by January in a step-up rise. Mr. Beattie said National Foods wanted it to look as if it was responding to a public concern in rallies. He said they were getting into a pretty serious battle, little farmers against a big company, but that it seemed to be getting under their skin. Despite the tougher economic times, dairy products remain on the menu for most Australians. In fact, cheese, milk, yogurt, and butter continue to maintain the same level of consumption. Dairy Australia industry analyst Peter Wilson said consumption of dairy products was set to grow at the rate of the population, which last year was 1.9%. Tightening the belt by cooking at home has helped keep the consumption of butter and dairy blends fairly stable. He said that the uncertain economic times encouraged consumers to stay in, and the figures reflected this. 4 kilograms of butter and dairy blends was consumed on average by each Australian during the last financial year, down from 4.1 kilograms the previous year. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Dairy News. See you next time.